You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. Here we go.
Welcome back to the GrantCast. Baciocco here, and welcome to the show. Sorry it has been a little bit since the last one, but things got busy. Starting in early September, I started performing with Puppet Up Uncensored at Knott's Berry Farm, and that was going great, and that was Thursday through Sunday. Just doing a bunch of just super fun shows with a lot of super fun people, and I will talk a little bit about that, later. But everything was going on great, and we had a show Sunday, October 9th, 2022. We had 3 shows actually that night, and as I had been wanting to do, I usually drive home after the Sunday shows. We are, by contract, not allowed to drive home during, at the end of every day. We have shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 shows a night. And even though all of us live in the Southern California area and Knott's Berry Farm is in the Southern California area, we are not, by contract, allowed to drive home, for example, after the shows on Thursday night. Now, there's several reasons for this, but the main reason is that our last show starts at 11:30. We don't get out until midnight. So you would be driving home from midnight. And most of the people, not all the people, but most of the people who perform in Puppet Up at Knott's Scary Farm live at least an hour away by traffic standards. When there's no traffic late at night, you can get home in around 30 minutes, at least to my place. You can get home in 30 minutes, but normal traffic is about an hour. So the reason they say no driving home is because it's late, you'll be driving, you could be tired, you'll be driving after midnight, and they also don't want you to have to come back. So if you left after the show Thursday night, you're going to be leaving after midnight, but then in order to make it back to the Knott's Berry Farm area, you'll kind of have to give yourself an hour, if not more, to drive back, and you could get stuck in traffic, because who knows about the traffic in Southern California, and blah blah blah. So it's a safety thing, but it's also a thing like they don't want you to get trapped in traffic. But after the shows on Sunday night, you can leave if you want to leave, and most people do. And I often do. I often don't. We have a hotel room for the night. We can stay through to Sunday morning, but I often do leave because you've been away from home for several days, and so you want to get home. I also feel that if I drive home late at night, then I have the whole day Monday to do things, as opposed to driving home Monday morning, and then maybe you have half the day to do things, depending on when you leave, because also, if you leave early in the morning on Monday, you're going to be sitting in traffic for an hour and a half or whatever like that. So sometimes in the middle of the day, you can leave kind of in the middle of the day, and you'll make it home in a decent amount of time. But anyway, Sunday, October 9th, I decided I was going to drive home. And I usually drive home because I am amped up. And if I just go back to the hotel room, I will be awake until 1:30 or 2 because of the adrenaline from doing the show. So I just feel like, well, you know what? On Sunday nights, I'll drive home. And that's what I did. And I have this thing. I have reached a point in my life where I can tell by how my body feels whether or not I got a good night's sleep or not. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a tired thing too. It's like, oop, I got a little scratch in the back of my throat. I need more sleep. That's the joys of nearing 50, I guess. So So anyway, the October 9th, I drove home and I could already kind of tell. I was like, oof, I need sleep. I need to go home and I need to go right to sleep. I got home and I had a little bit of a scratchy throat. And then when I woke up the next morning, I kind of woke up around 7 and I had not, I kind of went to bed around 1:30. So not a full 8 hours of sleep, like whoever gets that, but not a full hours of sleep. Anyway, I woke up and my throat was like a little bit scratchy and I had a little bit of a runny nose. And I was like, ooh, you know what? I was kind of around people at the theme park. And I do wear my mask a lot at the theme park. I'm going to take a home COVID test. So I took a home COVID test, totally negative. Tuesday morning, I woke up. So that would be the 11th. I woke up and I was like, whew, I am sick. I am sick. I am going to go get one of those official PCR tests at CVS, a drive-through PCR test, because, maybe the home test was wrong and I have COVID or something like that. So I drove home, I drove to CVS. I did the test in the car, went home, got the results on Wednesday, and the results were negative. And I was like, and actually I felt a little bit better on Wednesday. It wasn't 100%, but I felt a little bit better on Wednesday. And I was like, I got this. It's just some sort of little cold. The week before I did get my flu shot. So I was kind of thinking like, maybe this is something from getting the flu shot. And that's why I don't feel so good. So Thursday, I'm just going to drive down and do Puppet Up as I have done for the past several weeks. And when we get down to Puppet Up and we check into our hotel room, they have us take a COVID test. We take a COVID test Thursday and then Saturday. So when we check in, we get this little packet at the front desk, and the packet has 2 COVID tests and our per diem and all that kind of good stuff in it. And I took the COVID test and it was instantly, just like instant positive. And I was like, oh no. And so I called our production manager and I said, yeah, I'm getting an instant positive here. And the production manager said, we'll take the second one. So I took the second one and it was instant positive. And so even after 15 minutes, it was positive. So your boy Grant got COVID. So I was sent home. And I have just been testing. I have been out of the show I was out of the show last week. And today that I am recording this, you may not be hearing it on this day. In fact, you probably aren't. But it is October 20th right now. There were shows that started last night. And so I am not in those shows because I am still testing positive. I took another PCR test on Tuesday, and it was still positive. Now, I will say that today is Thursday. On Wednesday, I took a home test, and the line took forever. The positive line took forever to show, just like forever. And then when 15 minutes was up after you've taken your test, it was there, but it was really, really faint. And so today, Thursday, October 20th, where I'm recording this, I took another test. And here's the thing. My test results today, there was a line there, but it was so faint that I am sure 90% of people would have gone, oh, I'm negative. But me, I'm still saying I am positive. So tomorrow, Friday the 21st, I'll be taking another PCR test. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if it is negative, I will get to go into the Puppet Up shows Saturday, Sunday, and then finish off the run next week. If the test tomorrow is positive, I will miss out on Saturday, Sunday, and then hopefully we'll I will hopefully test negative next week. But it has just been kind of a pain in the butt because Puppet Up is my favorite thing to do. I love doing Puppet Up, and I love doing a good long run of Puppet Up. And I was not able to do that with this time because of our good friend COVID. The other thing I will say about COVID is I am vaccinated. And I got my first vaccination in April of 2021. I got my second one in May of 2021, like you're supposed to. And I got my booster in December of 2021. And that second booster kicked my butt. I felt like crap for several weeks. Like just this feeling of like, I just feel awful. And it all traced back to that thing. So I know that there are more updated boosters you can get, but I have not gotten those updated boosters because it just made me feel so horrible. But now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe if I had that booster, I could have fought off this version of COVID that I got. And I know that I absolutely know, I understand that getting the vaccine doesn't mean you're going to get it. You just get it less. And I will say that this was a pretty mild case, and I'm just hoping that it goes away relatively quickly. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to get a COVID booster at some point. Me talking about all this is not some endorsement to you. You are in charge of your own body. You should do what your own body says and what you feel you believe you should do. But I'm just telling you my story. And there you go. I'm going to wrap up this episode of the GrantCast. I didn't want it to be one of those I was sick and here's how it was. But, I thought it was an interesting story, and I'll look back at this and go, oh, yeah, this is what happened. So I will be back very shortly with a story about Puppet Up, because something happened during one of the Puppet Up shows that really has kind of made me think about things in a creative way. So we'll get back to those kind of things in the next episode. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a patron if you are a patron, and I will talk to you soon. This episode of the GrantCast was made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a monthly pledge for as little as $1 a month. Shout out to all our patrons, but a special shout out to our patron producers, Dorothy Baciocco, Eve Cunning, Kathy Crawford, Tony Urbano, Brandy, David Akers, Scott Armstrong, Vicky Sebring, and our newest patron at the producer level, Andrew Calgano. Thank you to all our patrons for help making this show possible. If you'd like to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your pledge today. Thank you for your support. This episode of the GrantCast is copyright 2022 Saturday Morning Media Grant Baciocco executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com.
You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.